Hey fam, welcome back to another Pep Wednesday where I put a little pep in your step for your midweek blues. I know it's been a while. I put this project on pause while I gave some time for the Black Lives Movement to go forward, but now I'm going to get back into it full swing. I'm also going to be posting all of these videos on YouTube so you can go back and watch them later, and it's much easier than watching it on Instagram stories. That's the house announcements. For today's topic, I wanted to talk about creative block. It's actually a question that Jonathan sent in, and I wanted to address it today. As creatives, one of our biggest hurdles can be creative block. There's nothing worse than prepping your table, getting everything set up, sitting down, and then blank. There's nothing there. You can't think of anything, and all you hear is the rustling of the wind. That blank white sheet in front of you seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the infernal clock gets louder and louder. Tick, tick, tick. We've all been there, but how do we break the cycle? Often we think we can just sit there and hope for inspiration to strike. But that's like going out in a field and hoping that lightning will strike the same spot twice. In order for lightning to strike repeatedly, it needs a positive channel for it to be attracted to, a path of least resistance. And that's exactly what we need to do for ourselves. Sitting idle will not work. You need to begin by doing. So here are some exercises that I've done in the past that I found helpful. Number one, though this is quite passive, sometimes it can be helpful, is to go and watch an inspiring talk, a TED Talk, or put on your favorite podcast, somebody in the creative industry, and listen to their words. Often those can spark at least some passion and some motivation to get you started. I find this is generally quite passive for me, and it's very much a hit and miss process. The second thing I like to do is pause the current activity I'm doing and go and do something completely different. I used to work as an art director in an art agency, and our job was to think of ideas all day long. All we did was generate idea after idea. Now that process can be quite draining, and in order to refill my tank, I would either shift the location I was sitting in, go somewhere new, or find a new spot to sit down, and then pick an activity that's unrelated. So in that instance, I would sit and draw something that was completely different from the topic that I was thinking of, or I might write a poem. If you're at home, you could choose to go and bake something. That's also something quite creative. It basically allows your mind to get active, and that's what we're looking for. The third thing you can try is to go for a walk, go around the block. Sometimes all you need is a bit of fresh air, and a lot of the times as I walk, I try to observe as much as possible, and I might see a human interaction that sparks an idea. I might see an interaction with human and animal, or even something as simple as a leaf blowing by, which makes me think of something else, which then connects to the idea I'm working on. The last and most effective exercise that I would recommend is actually doodling. Stretching is an essential part of any activity. It limbers you up and it prepares you for that activity. In the same way, doodling is that stretching process for creatives. It's essentially your hands go into muscle memory and start creating while your mind wanders. And in that process of moving and doing, it sparks an idea that evolves into another idea, which then fuels that great idea that you're searching for. Kind of like a snowball. When a snowball is pushed off a hill, it gains magnitude and momentum through action. In the same way, we generate ideas through action. Those were my 4 tips on how to tackle mental block. I would love to hear from you guys what processes or exercises you have done yourself. If you could drop those in the comments, I would love to interact with you guys there. If you found this video of value, I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel. You'll get the latest notification when the new videos drop. If you have any suggestions as well, please feel free to drop those in a DM to me. Thank you all. That's all for this week's Pep Wednesday, and I'll see you next week.